Hi everyone, it's Hallie. Today I'm going to be giving my intercultural speech over Ukrainian culture through the perspective of my friend Anna. She was born in Ukraine and she lived there until she was 18 years old before moving to America. If you didn't know, America is one of the most diverse countries in the world. Every day you may run into someone from a different culture or country, and you never know because most of the time people do not take the time to really dig in and learn someone's native beliefs and customs. I myself didn't realize just how diverse America was until I met Anna. But after getting to know her through her language, religion, the food she ate, and her experiences that she's been through, I've grown to have a greater appreciation for Ukrainian culture. It's so fascinating how someone can be so similar to you on a personal level, yet so different from you on a cultural level. When I met Anna, I had no idea she was any different from me at all. The only slight hint I had was that she had an accent, but I would have never guessed that she was from a different culture entirely. In Ukraine, they speak Ukrainian. It is an East Slavic language, and it sounds sort of like Russian, but there's other languages added into it to make it its own language. Back at home, she was required in school to learn 2 languages, and since of course she already knew Ukrainian, she chose to learn English. In her household, there was only one family member who spoke English, and that was her mother, but she was not very fluent in it, so she didn't get much help before moving to America with becoming better at speaking English. After thinking about this, I was curious to know what it was like to be bilingual and have to juggle knowing and speaking 2 languages daily. She informed me that sometimes when she's talking and she's not paying much attention, she'll replace an English word with a Ukrainian word in the middle of a sentence and never realize it. So then I started thinking, what language does she think in? Like her thoughts. And she replied and said, it just depends on whatever language she's speaking in at the time. If she's speaking Ukrainian, she'll think in that language. If she's speaking English, she'll think in English. I find it so unique that our languages can be so different, but religions can be so much similar. Growing up, Anna was an Orthodox Christian. And in America, that would be kind of like an evangelistic Christian, but they're not the same at all. Anna said that back at home, they didn't go to church every Sunday. They only went for holidays. And also, personal relationships with Christ were not emphasized as much in Ukraine. So she wanted to grow closer with Christ. And so she moved to America, and that happened. As she got older, she craved that more personal relationship with Christ. And after talking to her friend that she met in college, she converted to a Baptist Christian. She said it was one of the best decisions that she's ever made in her life. And in fact, she got involved in Crossings Ministries, which is where I met her at. She was my small group leader, and she had such a big effect on my life. I wanted to share her unique story with everyone. She got involved with Crossings because she moved to America on a student visa. She goes to Union College in Jackson, Tennessee, which is a Christian school, and she met a friend who was involved in Crossings Ministries, and she mentioned it to her. She became interested, and she was looking it up, wondering, how do I get involved in this? And it was such a blessing and coincidence that at the time, Crossings Ministries was looking for someone to help with their video production part of the camp. And come to find out, Anna majors in video production. So she put in an application and was hired. And funny thing is, that's how I met her. And at Crossings, our favorite thing to do is eat, of course. So it brought up a lot of conversation about her food back in Ukraine. I asked her favorite Ukrainian food, and it's potato baraki, which is very hard to say, and I hope I said it right. But she compared it to chicken and dumplings, but it's actually nothing like chicken and dumplings at all. It's actually just a dumpling filled with potatoes. And funny story, I asked her favorite American food, and she informed me that it was ranch, which is actually a condiment. It's not even a food at all. But she said she loved it so much because back at home, there's no ranch at all. So until she was 18 years old, she had never tried it. And she says now that she eats it on everything. And she said, even though she misses home, she'll be sad to return because there's no ranch there. However, Anna isn't really a big fan of American food. She said she liked the Ukrainians' potato-based diet, over America's sugary and saturated foods, which I can agree. With that being said, while foods are very different, she is still an ordinary person like us and goes through struggles in life just like everyone else. In fact, she comes from a small town in Ukraine, and she lived in a household that was not very wealthy. They were supported by her father, who worked in the mountains. The mountains were 3 hours away from his house, so he had to live in a trailer throughout the week and only got to come home on the weekends. Even though her father was not around much, he played a very large role in Anna moving to America. She was debating coming or not for a while, and her father sat down and had a conversation with her and told her to take the opportunity and follow her dreams and come to America, which she did. Anna informed me that she has not been back to Ukraine since she moved here because it's a very costly trip, and she plans to go back to Ukraine next Christmas. And it made me wonder, whenever she graduates from college, did she want to move back there or stay in America? So I asked her, and she actually told me that she wants to travel the world. And after college, she plans to go to Brazil for a few months to see what it's like there, and then see what she wants to do before planning her route somewhere specific. Overall, through Anna's religion, her language, her experiences, and the food she ate, I have become very appreciative of Ukrainian culture, and I hope you have too from watching this video. Thank you very much.